Good evening, guys. Today is Sunday, March 23rd, 2025, the eve of my 50th birthday. That's right. Tomorrow, I turn the big 50. And I've been having a lot of mixed feelings about that. You know, I said when I came up here, I've been telling my wife over and over, I'm sure she's a little sick of hearing it, but I've been telling her over and over, like, I don't want to turn 50. And she said, well, turning 50 is not that bad. And then I told her, well, yeah, I mean, I prefer turning 50 over being dead, but that's not a really great couple of options there, right? Like, it's not a great couple of options, but whatever. It is what it is. How's everybody doing? Not sure is our... Whoop. Already. What do you mean the mic is muted? Muted? Are you sure you're not muted? We're already starting off with technical difficulties. But not sure says the mic is muted. Let's see. Okay, yes, okay. His sound was turned off. And that's exactly what I said. I said, muted? Are you sure you're not the one who's muted? But yeah, so not sure is in the house. Hello, welcome, happy Sunday evening. No, I mean, wait. If you didn't hear what I was saying, I was talking about how today is the eve of my 50th birthday. And I have a lot of mixed feelings about that. But as I mentioned to my wife, turning 50 is, I mean, if the alternative is death, then I think turning 50 is probably, I'll take turning 50, but you know, it's all right. It's been a good life. Well, I mean, I'm talking like it's over, but it's not over. I mean, hopefully I still have quite some life to go, but yeah. I noticed something. Oh, okay. No, I know what I did. All right. So I was actually, I've upgraded the game we've been working on. I've upgraded it to Unity 6000. How they came up with this versioning, I have no idea. Why would they see Unity 6000 is beyond me. Not sure it says 50 to 60 are peak earning years. Yeah, but I mean, you could make that argument, sure. And maybe it's a valid argument. I do fear that maybe I've already reached that peak, but we'll see. We'll see. Especially considering, like, if things work out how I hope they work out, then I'll probably be retired by 55. And it's not going to be like a buying yacht. It's not going to be a Jeff Bezos style retirement, right? It's like that it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. It's going to be more of a, live comfortably, earn a little extra money when you can, but just kind of go at my own pace kind of thing. That's the kind of retirement I'm thinking of. But then there's that other part of me that's because, like, I have gotten so accustomed to taking these, like, 3, 4, 5 big trips every year. And they're not little trips either. They're trips that I've gone from home for like a month, 2 months at a time. So it's I don't know. Call me Sean. He is in the mobile chat. Says hi, hello, hi there. Call me Sean. But yeah, it's So what is 50 going to be like? What is it? Apparently, one thing it's going to be like, it's going to be sore, because I'm already quite sore. I don't know. Let's get warm before we start any programming. Let's get warmed up with a game of chess. And then we'll start. Then we'll start doing some programming on the game that we've been working on. Preston Neon says, "What is the live about?" Are you talking about this stream? Well, the stream, it's kind of about whatever you want it to be about. Think of it as kind of like your own personal live stream. Not sure says, "Oh, I signed up for AMB. I don't understand. Maybe talk about that later." I mean, yeah, I saw you signed up and I approved your account. So, I mean, it's there. It's ready for you to use. He, of course, is talking about anothermessageboard.com. Okay, he's going to hit that. I don't want a 4 knights kind of thing, so I'm just going to go with my bishop. He hits that. I'll come over here. Oh, no, but then he can come down here. So if he hits this... Let's see what he does. I'm not sure what he's going to do here. All right. Did he just trade a knight for a pawn? Yeah, he did. I'm up 2 points. I don't understand what anyone on there is talking about. Well, not sure. That's the thing. So A and B is a message board. Oh, you are making a game of chess. No, I'm not. I'm warming up with a game of chess. He's going to come here. No, the game is not about chess. I'll talk about the game. If you stick around for a little bit, have a little patience. I mean, or you can go somewhere else. I know that like young people these days, if you're young, I don't know if you are, but I know young people these days like have literally no attention span, which I get because I feel since the advent of social media that my attention span has gotten worse. So I can't imagine what it would be like having grown up like that. Go here. But no, so I'm making a Unity game, Preston, and it's like a first-person survivalist kind of game, but it's we're very early into the process. We've just started the process. I'm just warming up for the evening, just with a game of chess to kind of get the mental juices flowing, if you will. Okay, what is he doing? He's got the queen. Is he going to come here? We'll go here. If he pushes down, I'll take. No, I don't think I will take. Oh, what is he going to do here? Oh, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, not sure. Yeah, I was talking about A and B. So A and B is it's over 20 years old. I've had that message board for over 20 years. I started it in 2004, and it is nothing but inside jokes. Like, that's why you don't understand what anybody's saying. It's because it's just one big inside joke after another. Let's see how he reacts to this. I'm kind of hoping he comes down here to E3 because then I can take with check and I'll win the queen. So A and B is literally just 20 years worth of inside jokes. And, stick around. You'll get used to it. I can take. That's going to be check. He'll recapture, and then I take. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's do that. He takes. Let's see. Will he take? I mean, surely he's not. Well, he has to take because, oh man, I should have done. I bet I could have fooled him if I had taken with the bishop. Oh, that would have been a fork, as Not Sure loves to scream out. Fork, fork, fork. Oh, bro, I barely know what local is. Locale? Local? I don't know what local is either. Okay, that's a free pawn. I need to get my queen into the picture. I'm going to bring her over 1. So this queen, his queen is almost trapped. Almost 1 million posts on there. That's a lot of BS. But actually, the thing is when you consider that over 20 years, that's like 50 to 80 posts per day, which is actually not a lot. It's really not a lot. The board that I inherited, there's that word again. Inherited it. The board that I inherited from my friend Joe when he passed away, his started, I think, in 2007. Oh, thanks for the queen, dude. And did he do that on purpose? He seemed to have done he seemed to have done that. Is that proper English? He seemed to do that. We'll just go with that. He seemed to do that very purposefully. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even see that. I'm not too worried about that, honestly, but I literally did not see it. Yeah, we'll come here. I literally hung my bishop. I didn't even realize it. Pin the pawn. Yeah, no, I literally, that piece that he just took, what was it? Yeah, it was the bishop. I literally did not even see that the bishop was hanging. It's a part of a script for Lua. Oh, you mean like, okay, you're talking about when you're declaring a variable in Lua, like the difference between local and... Does Lua have var? I think it has var. I can't remember. I've used Lua quite a bit. Where do I want to go here? If I take... He wants me to take, but this is... Let's discourage that. No, I've used Lua quite a bit. I've used it in my professional life as a programmer, and I've also used it in I was writing another game. Actually, I used it. So this is a funny story, and actually this is relevant to both the people talking on my on my mobile stream and on the desktop stream. So I started writing a game that was related basically to one big inside joke of my message board. There is a person at the board. I can win this, I think. So there's a person on my message board, and I'm not going to say his name here on the stream, but if you join the board, you'll soon learn his name. And as a troll, it was like a troll joke kind of thing. I started writing a game. But I wasn't using a game engine, right? I was just using SFML, which I think stands for simple something markup. The ML is media library. I don't remember what the F is. Okay, I can win that. I think I can win. And so I started writing the game in like 2018, 19, somewhere around there. And the thing about it is I was using some very wait a minute. I got to think for a second. Where do we go here, boys? I'm going to bring this rook into the game. But I can't get the rook. I'm going to lose my queen. I don't want to lose my queen. But for the game that I was writing about the guy on my message board, I was using some like very sophisticated techniques with C++ using SFML. That's a good move. I'll just take this. This is a check. And I can win the bishop. At least there's that. But I was using these I was using some sophisticated techniques. I was using new features in like C++ 20 at the time, C++ 20. So I was using like new C++ 20 features. I had an entire integration with Lua, and I'll link you to the repo in a minute. If you go to ZETHON/TTVG, Tommy Tucson video game. But if github.com/ZETHON/TTVG, that's the game. And he resigned. He resigned. All right. I mean, he resigned because I was going to win the bishop, and then he might have been able. He would have saved his rook, but then I just would have started eating his pawns. Oh wait, if he moved up there, yeah, he couldn't even save his rook. Well, he could have. No, he didn't have my queen trapped. He could have come here. Oh, then I would have still won the bishop. So yeah, no, he probably did the right thing. But the point here, I'll show you the repo. So of this other video game I was talking about. And actually, if you go to Dogfinger, I think it's dogfinger.com. I made an entire website of this like fictional studio right here, the Tommy Tucson video game. And I mean, I had YouTube videos on it about like my development process. I was pretty proud of this. Now you got to understand, like a lot of the stuff I was doing in this video game is stuff that's kind of built into Unity, right? Or like into most game engines. Whereas I was just using plain old C++ and SFML. So things like having like the traffic go by and like having the little fires animated, that was stuff that I had to do on my own, that I had to like implement raw. But anyway, so I'm like, I'm writing this game and I'm like proud of it, right? Because like I said, I'm using like these sophisticated C++ techniques, and then I spent a lot of time on the Lua integration with it. And like I had like an entire, because there was another guy on the board who was working with it. I have docs here. Where's the doc? Yeah, Lua support. So I wrote these docs basically for this other guy on my board who was also a programmer. And so he's writing stuff for it, and he's like, well, how can I do XYZ in Lua? And I'm like, okay, well, let me add support for XYZ in Lua. So it became like a fairly mature project pretty quickly, just given my level of maturity, for lack of it. But it became a pretty mature project. And then I'm thinking like, this would be an excellent project to put on a resume. Like if I wanted to, like if I was looking for a job and like, or I wanted to showcase like some of my open source projects, this would be a great showcase of like my knowledge base and like what I can do from a professional programmer standpoint. However, the actual content of the game is completely inappropriate. It's entirely inappropriate. Like at one point he's selling illicit substances on the street, and he's talking about getting certain types of favors from like it's a very inappropriate. It's almost like the Leisure Suit Larry games, but like in a modern day setting, and instead of like a skeevy like Leisure Suit Larry, you're a homeless guy. So that was it. So that was the Tommy Tucson video game. Ketchikan Stan says, now the Tommy game has a 5-star rating on Steam, and Blizzard is going to buy it. Tommy will sue. Okay, so Ketchikan Stan is obviously somebody from either my board or another board. If you have to explain your trolling to a recruiter in the backstory, yes. Like that's the thing. Like how? Like what am I going to do? I'm going to go and explain to a recruiter. Well, you see, I have this message board, and we like to post memes, and a lot of you're just like no. So there is this mature project that like I'm not able to really kind of present it to. Luckily, I'm not looking for a job, so there's that. Not sure says I just saw the gates of Auschwitz in the game. Yes, it's a very inappropriate game. It's an extremely inappropriate game. Kitchikan Stan says I'd hire you. Yeah. So guys, if you're watching on a mobile stream and you're like on desktop, I'm going to paste because there's a few people it looks like in the mobile chat room. I'm going to paste a link to the desktop stream, so that might be a better viewing experience. Unless, of course, you are watching this on your cell phone, in which case, keep watching on your cell phone. But if you are watching it on your desktop and you would like to, have a better viewing experience, click the link I just put into the mobile chat. And it looks like Razman is here. You meant IL for the PowerShell command. For that PowerShell command. What PowerShell command? I'm not sure which PowerShell command you're talking about, Razman, but it's good to see you here, Razman, my buddy. Not sure my other buddy. So yeah, so the Tommy Tucson game, but like I said, it's using SFML, and SFML doesn't provide you a game loop, so you have to write your own game loop. It doesn't provide you any type of mechanism for like doing scene transitions or like it doesn't give you any of that. You have to write it all yourself. Razman says, oh, II? So Explorer dot does work. Does II dot work? Let me see. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Cool. Thank you. Prestinian says, when did you create your first game? Dude, I've been programming a very long time. Like a very long time. I started messing around programming when I was like 9 years old, 9 years old. Like, and I'm old. So, I mean, I learned to program on an Apple IIe and a Commodore 64. I am old. Okay. So like I said, I upgraded the game to Unity 6000. Let's see. Get branch. Okay. We're on the right branch. That's good to know. And here's an interesting thing. So first of all, I found a bug in Unity on my, like, if you block certain websites, then Unity 6000 crashes, which is highly annoying. So I had to use a VPN. Okay. Yes. But one interesting thing is, like, when I would, like, on my Mac, I would run Unity 2022. And you just hear that fan spin up. And it's just like, it's Fan City. Like, it is just Fan City. But when where are all my trees? Hello? Oh, wait a minute. Let's try this. Let me close this. But when I ran Unity 6000 on my Mac, silence. It's amazing. So I think Unity 6000, it's one of the rare cases where upgrading the software actually makes the software run better. Like, it actually runs better on my hardware. Ketchican Stan says, I'm shocked Tommy hasn't tried to DMCA your GitHub repo. Oh, come on. So Ketchican Stan, I don't know exactly who you are, but obviously it is somebody from, like, one of the 2 message boards that I've talked about. But you know how Tommy is. He's all bark, no bite. Like, you know this. Did I get? Okay, there we go. That looks a lot better. So we can do that. This is interesting. I noticed this the other night, that it creates a solution file. I mean, obviously that's a Visual Studio file, but that I found that interesting. But I don't want to use it. Okay, let's open it and see what happens. Yeah, it's just going to load Visual Studio. It's going to load Visual Studio like Epic did. But Visual Studio is very good for debugging. Like, if you are having a complicated issue where you need a good, reliable debugger, Visual Studio is the, what is the word I'm looking for, or the phrase I'm looking for? It is the gold standard of debuggers. And people I know that you're going to have some, like, Linux purists and be like, no, GDB, you got to use GDB, which is a command, like, to fuck you. Like, no, I'm not going to use GDB. Like, no, Visual Studio is an amazing debugger. It is very, very good. But the only problem I have with it is that it's wrapped in Visual Studio. And Visual Studio is okay. It is an okay editor. It is an okay IDE, but Visual Studio Code is much better. I'm behind on the messages here. Switch to the desktop version. Okay, yeah, notice that. I may lurk. Are you lurker? Okay. I actually prefer the VS Git interface. Do you Visual Studio or Visual Studio Codes? I don't really like either one of them. I don't remember Visual Studios. I use Visual Studio Code a lot more than I use Visual Studio. But yeah, I'd rather use the CLI. Yeah, I use the CLI a lot too. Sometimes it's just a lot quicker to get things done with the CLI. There is the console in VS Code. Yes, there is. You can go to the console. All right, so we got Unity engine loading up here. So what I was working on downstairs, and I was working on trying to get screen transitions, and I'm hoping that I'm pretty sure I checked it all in and pushed it. Okay, yeah, I got a splash screen, main menu, game over, and game Unity. The game menu. Okay, and then did my build settings. Did those get... Yes. Okay. Splash screen, main menu, game over. Game over, man. Game over. Catch a Can Stan. I like to manage branches, view, and Visual Studio for navigating branches and whatnot. Honestly, if I'm going to be doing a lot of if I'm going to be rebasing or like having to merge rebases, I'm probably going to be using Source Tree. I like Source Tree, although Source Tree has gotten progressively terrible over the years. It's as though they have, at one point they were is it Atlassian that creates Source Tree? I'm not sure, but Source Tree was a victim of their own success because they realized, oh yeah, wow, people really like our interface. Let's add more to it. Oh wow, people really like that. Let's keep adding to it. And so they kept adding and kept adding. And Source Tree is now like, here, let's do this. Okay. Oh, I can't drag the splash screen over, but it just Oh, okay. That actually loaded pretty fast. Okay. Well, I take it back. I was getting ready to bitch and moan about how long it takes to start Source Tree, but you know what? It proved me wrong. Especially when chasing down changes, inspecting commits, and trying to unfuck things my devs have done. Well, yeah. Well, you got to work with better devs. Oh boy. All right. So I was talking to AI about how to do let me see, prototype. I think it's here, about how to do the screen transitions. Why can't I say that word? One thing I was not crazy about. Okay. I would think that there would be a better integration of scenes into the project, but I guess maybe so what I'm getting at is, like, I would think over here in the hierarchy that you would have another level up that level up would be the scenes, and then underneath the scenes you would have things like the main camera for the scene and things like that, blah blah blah. But you don't. Scenes are very self-contained, and I guess the reason that is because I guess it makes it a little. The less tied a scene is to an overall project, the easier it is to kind of move scenes from one project to another, right? So, like, if you have like a game menu scene, I guess it's a lot easier to just kind of copy it out of one project and paste it into another project, and then you just kind of change a few things, and there it is, ready to go. I guess so. I guess that is the reasoning, but I'm just guessing. Is this going to turn into a Grok and me spoof? I was talking to AI. See, this is a problem. This is a problem, Ketchikan, is that now the inside jokes are starting. And so there's going to be inside jokes between Ketchikan and I that, like, nobody else in the chat's going to understand. No one's going to understand. Okay. So if I go to splash screen, I was trying to understand. Okay, first of all, I guess I gotta move my view. Come on. Come on. There we go. There was something I wanted to look up real quick, because not sure. I think it was you, not sure, that a couple days ago you mentioned the term vibe coding, and I actually saved it to it. So I saw this. I saw this article on dev.to, which is like a programmer nerd kind of website. I don't know. Maybe you already know what it is. And I was like, and I just saw the rise of vibe coders. And as soon as I saw vibe coders, I was like, you know what? That's what, like, one of the guys in my chat said a couple nights ago. Oh no, you're using Canvas instead of UI Toolkit. Well, I'm using both, aren't I? Like, this button is part of the UI Toolkit, isn't it? I honestly don't understand. Like, I that's a legitimate question. Isn't the button part of the UI Toolkit? Right? But not sure. Use the term vibe coders, and I wanted to, and I was like, oh, I should read this post or this article, and I said, you know what? No, I'm going to save it for the chat. So I'm going to read this with you guys. And I was going to say it's not that long. we can skip over the boring parts, kind of like, my entire stream. The world of software engineering is evolving fast. Yeah. AI-powered tools are revolutionizing how code is written, and more people are jumping into tech than ever before. Really? Is that true? I don't know if that's true. Sounds exciting, right? Sounds scary, but maybe that's exciting. Well, there's a hidden shift happening, and if you're a newcomer in the industry, you really need to pay attention. So that means I can ignore the rest of the article, thankfully. So let's see. The developer boom and experience decline. Every 5 years, the number of software developers doubles. Not sure does not like the. I like this. Is this just like regular? This is a mono font. I love mono fonts. Not sure says the website's font is cancer. I disagree. I think everything should be a mono font. I feel that way. Like my font on my work emails is Courier. It is Courier. Yep. Oh God, they mixed Arial and Courier. Did they? Yeah, you might be right. Like this is maybe Arial, or that's not I don't think that's Courier. No, that's not Courier. Every 5 years, the number of software developers doubles. That means in the next cycle, we're going to see more brand new devs entering the field than experienced ones already in it. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's always going to be like that. And I have a feeling, I get the impression that people are kind of like nervous about jumping into coding because they think that AI is going to take coding jobs. So what's the point of like going into a field that's going to be taken over by AI? And to some extent, they're not wrong, right? There is some legitimacy to that sentiment. But I don't think it's as bad or as dire as like some people will have you believe. I do think, and I've talked about this on here before, I do think there is going to be a challenge where you're not going to have junior program. Like you will still need a senior programmer. You'll still need somebody that is a senior programmer to basically tell the AI what to do and to make sure that the AI didn't break anything. You're still going to need a team of experienced people that know what to look for. And so the question becomes, well, who's going to hire junior programmers when the AI is kind of doing the work of a junior programmer, and you need senior programmers to kind of look over that work? And then, of course, they're going to be like, well, just have AI look over it. Like, yeah. There was this great short I saw where it was this like nerdy millennial woman, and she does a lot of like programming memes. And actually, I disagree with her sometimes. I wish I could find her name. She's really nerdy. She's like an undercover hottie where like she dresses like kind of nerdy and she has like nerdy glasses, but you can tell that like, yeah, she's hot. But she was talking about how, she said the same exact thing. Like, if you don't have junior engineers, how can you get senior engineers? And then maybe you could have, maybe you could have AI take over the job of senior engineers. And then she was like, you can fucking try, and like you can, and you're going to fuck up really quickly. So you're still going to need senior engineers. So so it's a valid point. Like if there's no junior engineers, I don't know. But this whole thing, I don't know that there are as many software developers entering the field as there were before. And I'm always hearing how like, oh no, we're having trouble finding programmers. Like, but is that still a trope? Like, I haven't seriously, thank God, I have not seriously had to look for a job in a long time. Like the last jobs I've had, they were kind of like, they kind of came to me. So I don't know what the job market is like. Maybe somebody in the chat room, do you know, like, let me know, like, what is your experience if you've had to look for a job in tech? So like, I don't know what the market is like, but I suspect that this assumption that this article says about, about whatever, I don't believe it. Historically, this wasn't a problem because junior devs learned from seasoned engineers over time, but this time, things are different. AI-assisted coding has changed the game with tools like blah, 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 blah. It's easier than ever to write code without truly understanding it, and that is critical. That is going to be a problem because, and I've already seen this creeping up at work where you can tell what code, like you can pretty much tell. Like, here's an interesting thing. Before AI even came into the picture, so the code base that like one of the code bases I've been working on for many years in a professional setting, in my time there has probably been 15, 20 different engineers come through, and there's maybe been like 5 major ones, myself included as one of them. And when you're reading the code, like you can be like, oh, Jack wrote that, oh, Matt wrote that. Like, you can tell who wrote what code, generally. Not always, but generally you can tell who wrote what code. Of course, Git tells you as well, but just by looking at it, you can usually tell. And likewise, you can usually tell AI code from human written code. And so, but I've seen this already where like people are using, and like, I can't say I've never used AI written code. I do, but I tend to do it in small chunks because I still don't trust it, because I know that it still fucks up. But some of the junior engineers, they're just like, oh, it put a whole page of text. And I'm like, yeah, no, you can't do that. You can't do that in performance critical code. Like, you just can't. I'm turning the light on, guys. I'm sorry. I know you guys, you complain when I turn the light on, but I'm turning it on. Whoa, that's just an assault. That's a hate crime. All right. So, but so this whole concept of like code that is out there and running that people don't truly understand. We talked about this a couple nights ago. Like, are you going to trust, like, do you really want to get on an airplane that is governed by code governed by code that no human really understands or has kind of signed off on? I don't. AI assisted coding. Okay, we're entering an era where experience levels may actually decline, a first in the software engineering history. I mean, I kind of think that, because you're not going to have as many junior engineers entering in, because most companies are going to be like, well, AI can do it, save a ton of money. And then the senior engineers are going to age out. It's like I said last week or so, I said senior engineers they're going the way of COBOL programmers, of how COBOL programmers are kind of viewed today. Let me read a couple of these chat messages. I suspect one of our engineers is doing stuff they don't understand with AI tools. I just ask them to explain what their code is doing live, not over email or PR comment. Yeah, Ketchikan, like I was talking a couple nights ago how like we were interviewing a couple of candidates, and there was one guy who obviously had our questions being converted to text, sent to an AI, answers coming back, and he was just reading the answers. It was blatantly obvious. Razman says, actually, a button in Canvas is a game object, and a button on UI Toolkit is a visual element. It gives better performance. So that is interesting. That is interesting, and I would like to explore that. However, the first thing that kind of comes to mind is, what kind of performance do you really expect from a splash screen, right? Like, you have to think about the context. A very good example of this happened, like, this was like 10 years ago. And this was something like, kind of like where my mind went, because I was like very performance oriented. And I was talking to a coworker at the time, because there was this certain thing that I was loading up in a unit test, this certain thing, and it was taking a long time to load. It would take like 30 seconds. And I tracked down why it was doing, and I was like, well, if we refactor this and put it over here, then we can avoid that load time. Like, we can avoid that whole thing. And then he's like, well, what is this for? And I was like, well, because it takes like 30, 60 seconds to run the unit test. And then he was like, well, who cares? It's a unit test. And I was like, that's a good point. It's a unit test. Like, who cares? So that kind of comes to mind here. It's like, okay, maybe the UI toolkit performs better, but it's a menu. So does it really matter? Putting code into product that you don't even know how it works is peak retardation. I don't disagree, but I think it's going to become the norm. The question is how soon until it becomes the norm. I mean, I think, older engineers like myself and maybe Ketchikan are going to push back against that kind of thing. But, you know, we're not going to be around forever. In another 10 years, like I was just talking about, hopefully retired in like 5 years. And even if I don't retire in 5 years, let's say I retire, I'm going to be retiring like no more than 15 years, like God willing. So it's like, I'm not going to do this forever. So what about 15 or even, but let's go 10 years, like 10 years, you're going to have like, I don't know, like you're going to have some 25-year-old that is just now like in his first programming position and he's just using AI day and night. And then now in 10 years, he's going to be a senior dev. What's that going to look like? What's that quality going to look like? I feel like the job, in a lot of ways, well, there are many hats that a senior engineer will wear. And obviously, it's like they're going to take on the more complex problems. They're going to have be more involved with overall architecture and design. But I think another thing that senior engineers do is, and this is one of the problems I have with somebody I used to work with who kept trying to come up onto the senior level, was that senior engineers, they have to be gatekeepers of quality and like code quality. They have to be gatekeepers of quality. And I had, like, this was a few years ago where a guy that I wasn't mentoring him, but he was under me. And he wanted to kind of come up to my team, but like I had experiences with him in the past where like I had to like double check him. Like I had to be like, well, no, you can't do that. Or like, that is a bad idea. And like, I remember having this meeting with him where I told him like, you need to be more conscientious. Oh my God, why can't I say that word? Conscientious. You need to be more conscientious of quality. And so, yeah, I mean, who's going to do that? Who's going to be the gatekeepers of quality if AI is writing like, if AI generates 1,500 lines of code in 3 seconds? Is every engineer really going to go through all 1,500, or is an engineer at all going to go through all 1,500 lines of code, understand it, and make sure that it I don't think so. That's why, like, when I use AI, I try to do it very, piecemeal. Like no, like if it's a huge chunk, I'm weary of it. But if it's like little chunks, like, okay, I can look at the little chunk, understand it, paste it, copy paste. I interviewed 8 engineers last week. There are a glut of software engineers in the market currently. What do you mean by a glut? Do you mean that there's a lot of engineers or there's a lack of engineers? I'm not sure what you mean by a glut. That the word's confusing me. I think you're saying that there's a lot of engineers, but I just want to make sure I understand. FANG. Everyone fired everyone. I don't know what FANG is. Lots of companies are effectively doing layoffs without announcing it. Yes. RTO is code. We are doing layoffs. Yeah. We're doing layoffs by making people quit on their own. Yeah. I have tried to... Oh, the wind shut the door. It freaked me out. I have tried to get an internship for this summer, and I have not been called for a second interview. They just make me do Leak Code, Hacker Rank, and the similar websites do exercise. You know what, Razman? What are you looking for? Yeah, we might want to talk offline because we might want to talk offline. Artificial general intelligence is right around the corner. That's what they say. I don't know. AI is scary in a way because it's like, okay, well, now you have AI that replaces programmers, but it just keeps going because the programmers are programming for somebody to make it easier for that somebody to do their job. Well, what if AI is doing that job? Then who are the programmers? At some point, you got to be careful because eventually it's just going to become a society of serfs and landowners, or in this case, AI owners, right? Because if you got like 5 big companies that own all the AIs, they own the world at that point, and us peons... I don't know. I don't think it's going to get that bad in my lifetime. So yeah, well, I'll be checked out. That's all right. Let's see. I can't get on board with artificial general intelligence. LLMs are a parlor trick that are barely surface deep at this point. There's some truth to that. I think it's going to go backwards in short order due to entropy. Fang. Oh yeah, you're right. Fang. Fang. Okay, yeah, I had heard Fang before. We want artificial general intelligence to be our slaves. That reminds me of a great tweet that I read years ago, but it was like it was in response to the unemployment numbers, and basically the tweet was, the goal should not be 0% unemployment. The goal should be 100% unemployment. Have robots do everything, and that's isn't that basically the Star Trek world? Isn't that like I'm still, I kind of wish Joe was still alive because he could explain this to me. But like, isn't that kind of how the Star Trek economy worked? Like, you just like basically there were no shortages. There was no want for everything. Everybody had what they needed and could have almost literally everything they needed. Like, honestly, like I've said this before, if I was alive in the Star Trek world, I would just be in the artificial environment. The simulator. I'd just be in the simulator 24/7. Oh my God. I don't even. I mean, I'd have to have. I could have probably be in there 24/7 because I'd have to have a janitor come in and mop up after a couple days. But man, yep. I want AI to pick up my kid's bedroom and sort out toys from the trash. I don't want it to program an airplane autopilot. We had holodeck. That's what it was. Yeah, we had a whole conversation about that, about the airplane thing, like last week. Rest in peace, Joe. Yep, my good friend Joe. Rest in peace. Replicators are what make Star Trek work. Infinite resources. Did they? I guess so, but I mean, did they? Did they just create stuff out of nowhere? I guess maybe the idea was that they somehow turned the dark matter that surrounds us all into actual matter, and therefore that created stuff or something like that. There was a science fiction book I read years ago, and I can't remember what it was, but the only thing I remember about it is that there was an alien race, and their power source for everything, they had learned a way to tap into the ambient background energy of the universe. And so they just had electricity everywhere. Like, that was kind of the gist of it. Okay. Meet the vibe coder. A vibe coder is someone who, all right, let's see who qualifies as a vibe coder. Writes code mainly through AI generated suggestions. I would say, well, nowadays I don't program nearly as much as I used to, or as much as I would like to. When I do, I would say I'm about, I don't know, mainly. The word mainly, I do a lot of AI generated suggestions these days, but it's usually for simple shit. Like, I need a function to do X, Y. Like, it's usually very simple stuff. So maybe, like, number one is maybe. Okay, number two, doesn't deeply understand how or why their code works. Absolutely not. No, I will not. Even in that. So there was the chat. Not sure, you might have been around for this, but there was that chat program that I was working on for a while that I loaded up the other day. A lot of that TypeScript, the TypeScript portion of that, a lot of that was AI. But I would go through it and I would make sure that it all made sense before I would commit it. And then actually on that project, the Python, most of the Python code on that project was code that I wrote. And three, moves fast, but struggles with debugging, optimization, and security. Oh, well, who needs those? Who needs debugging, optimization, and security? So this article sounds like it's basically talking about like what we talked about. How you if you try to replace senior engineers with AI, you're going to get fucked. It's that simple. Instead of learning foundational programming skills, vibe coders rely on AI to bridge the gap. So that's what a vibe coder is. Well, I guess I'm going to be vibe coding the hell out of this game. But honestly, in the game, like so far, I've barely coded. Like I've barely written any code. Most of this game has just been trying to figure out how Unity works and how things in Unity work together. The best developers will always be those who know the fundamentals. I accidentally scrolled down. Where did it go? Where was it? I lost my place. Instead of learning fundamental programming skills, the vibe coders rely on AI to bridge the gap. Okay. The demand for real engineers is growing. Yes. The rise of AI-assisted development means companies will soon be flooded with vibe coders. It's already starting. Already started. But as software systems become more complex, businesses will still need engineers who, one, can debug beyond AI's limitations. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can already, there's this guy that I used to work with. He was upper management. This was when I was kind of, yeah, but I can already hear him now, like in my head. Well, just have AI do the debugging. Yeah. You can fucking try. Understand how things work under the hood. That's another thing. Yep. And write scalable, efficient, and secure code. Absolutely. So AI is a tool, not a crutch. And I think that is an excellent point. That is an excellent point. Let's be clear. AI is an amazing tool. Absolutely. It can supercharge productivity. Absolutely. Automate repetitive tasks and help you explore new ideas, but it's not a replacement for real expertise. And this just goes on about like if you're trying to the future, two types of developers. Over the next few years, we'll see a growing divide in the industry. Vibe coders who can ship AI generated code quickly but lack deep knowledge, and foundational engineers truly understand software systems and solve complex problems. So actually, I'm going to put on my resume. I'm going to send this title or this little blurb to myself because I am not going to edit my resume on stream because you guys do not need to know that much about me. But I am going to put somewhere on my resume, it's going to have my name and underneath of it, foundational engineer. I almost like that as much as I like my current title. Foundational, maybe, let's see. Addy Clure, chief architect, foundational engineer. Like, it's not bad. I like it. While companies may hire vibe coders due to the sheer numbers, the real power will belong to those who have a strong technical foundation. It absolutely will. And actually, and I'm going to be absolutely serious with this point. Like, how can I put this? Okay. Let's go back to the plane question, right? Are you going to get in a plane that has code that was written by AI? Let's go back to that for a second. Would you rather, let's say there's two companies where you can get on plane A or plane B, and plane A has AI programmers with human C-suites, like CEOs, CTOs, CMOs, like all the C's, right? So if it has AI programmers and human CEOs and CTOs and CFOs, or would you rather get on the plane that has human programmers and AI CEOs, CFOs? Like, the choice is obvious. Like, honestly, like I could see AI replacing. Actually, that's unfair to say because I was going to say I could see AI replacing like CFOs and CMOs and CTO. Like, I could see AI replacing those jobs first. But I've never done those jobs, so that might be an unfair thing to say. But my gut kind of tells me that I'm right. That yes, AI, yeah. Requests for dark mode if it's available. Thank you. Of what? This page? No, I hate dark mode. No, I cannot stand dark mode. I'm sorry. Like, it's bothering me that this is dark mode, but I don't think there's a light mode in Unity, so I'm kind of living with it. But I hate dark mode. I hate dark mode because if you are using dark mode, it's like, who do you think you are? Do you think you're like a 15-year-old Finnish hacker? Like, no, dude, you're like a mid-level engineer making 110 grand working at some financial company. Like, no, get real with who you are. You're wearing khakis, And it's 2 p.m. You're not wearing sweatpants drinking Monster at 2 a.m. Just get it right. Get it straight. Light mode. Light mode. All right, sorry. Ask Grok what the difference is between Canvas and UI Toolkit, and you'll see the bigger picture. You might be right. I mean, Razman, I am not doubting you. Like, I think you're right. I think right now, my contention is that there's bigger fish to fry. And if I can get this to work, because I've already kind of have some of it, I think that's what we're going to do. We just have to make an AI model who does layoffs at random times and collects bonuses. I like that. That's good. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do this. So I had to add this script. This scene loader script. All right. And very basic, yes, AI wrote it for me. Do I understand what it does? Yeah. I mean, it looks, it's 20 lines of code and probably 8 of those are brackets. So I like it, you know? Okay. But I need to attach it. Like the AI was telling me to attach it here somehow. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's this on click. I'm going to delete what I can. How can I delete this? Let me see. I delete that. Can I delete that? No. Delete that. There we go. Okay. So I'm guessing that the editor and runtime means exactly that. It's saying, okay, when should the on click function actually trigger? In the editor and runtime, I'm going to say yes. Not sure it says what is mono behavior. So that kind of popped up with Unity 6000. That's one of the new things that kind of popped up with Unity 6000. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I don't know. I mean, if you know, please tell me, because I don't know. You know, I'm gonna pull back the curtain for a minute here. Look at this. This is Restream. There is always one. This always says 1. Like, even if there's nobody on either YouTube stream, according to this, I always have 1 viewer on Twitch. It has to be a bot. It has to be a bot. Anyway, it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Sorry. Okay. A little distracted there. I have to, like, all that talking. I mean, we've been talking for almost an hour. And let me have a little bathroom break. I'll be right back. Let me do the be right back screen. Be right back. All right, guys. Okay. All right. I don't have to show the outside anymore, so it's gotten dark. It's gotten dark out here. Mono behavior. Okay, it serves as a base class from which almost all Unity scripts derive their functionality. Okay, so it's a base class. Mono behavior are the components of any game object. Okay, so that's 2 different ways of saying the same thing. Yes, it looks like inheritance. It absolutely looks like inheritance. I'm sure I put this. Okay, let's just do that. Okay, perfect. So the question is, and AI was not very helpful here. if I go to button and then so somewhere down here, like this doesn't make any sense to me. Like no function, the no function, so object. So I think I'm supposed to drag screen loader into this, but then the function monoscript string name. Is that coming from, see, this is scene name. Well, where it is? Okay, so monoscript.name, and like this is like I don't know what to do. Like, am I supposed to? If I click this, I mean I think what AI said was, let me go back to AI. Where's my AI? Oh, my stars and garters. All right, I'll go here. On-click target. Okay, because I asked AI for, okay, detailed instructions for setting up on-click. In the hierarchy, right-click, create empty, name it scene loader. Okay, this was the script. Click, oh, in the inspector. Oh, wait a minute. This is a little bit different. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Wait a minute. 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 Okay. All right. Let's go back. Okay. Over here. Nope. No. I resized the button. I resized the screen. So now I don't know where anything is. Okay. Okay. We're gonna follow this to the T. Okay? To the T. Okay. Let me just drink this. Okay. Create the scene loader object. So I guess I have to create that here in the splash screen. Right click, create empty. Create empty. Perfect. Name it scene loader. Scene loader. In the inspector with the scene loader selected, click add component and attach the scene loader script. Add component. Okay. This is making a little more sense now. In the hierarchy. No, wait. Okay. In the hierarchy, select the button. Okay. In the inspector, expand the button script component. Okay, where is button script? Let me. Button script. Is that this? Well, let's okay. Expand the button script component. Find the on-click section. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the button. This is the button parentheses script selection, which it doesn't actually say. It just says button, but whatever, because it has like interact. Okay, and then on click. Okay. I found the on click section. Drag the scene loader game object from the hierarchy into the on click box. If it shows none object, drag the scene loader object here. Okay. So let me erase this. Okay. Scene loader here. Got it. Perfect. A drop down will appear next to the object. Select scene loader, load scene. Oh, after selecting load scene attack. Okay, select main menu. Do I have to put quotes in it? Like literally, like do I have to put the quotes? I'm going to assume yes. I don't know if that's a good assumption or not, but let's go with it. Okay. Example setup. If done correctly, the button should now load the main scene when clicked. If nothing happened, okay. Well, wait. Well, okay. Okay. Let's run it and see what happens. Let's give it a shot. Okay, wait, I'm getting an error. Main menu couldn't be loaded because it does not been added to the active build profile. Okay, I'm going to assume that it does not want the quotes. I'm going to assume that the quotes are the problem. Okay. Okay. Let's try it now. Something happened. Oh, wait. Wait. I think it worked. Wait a minute. Wait. I think it worked. It wasn't very obvious. Okay, splash screen. Click that. Okay. I'm wondering if the reason that nothing on the screen changed is because the main menu scene literally has nothing yet on it. I bet that's probably it. This looks like it worked though. That's good. That's good. Let's see. I mostly use AI to teach me, and that is the correct way to use AI. Though I will say, when we were working on that chat program, which I would still like to work on one day, because I still think it's a fascinating idea. I think it's a great idea, and of course I think that because I came up with the idea. And it would be also, and to Ketchikan, if he's still here, that would be a way to bridge JUOT and AMB together. Although I think I might do that anyway with like just one big Zenforo and everybody is kind of segmented into their own sections. And then anyway, but that's down the road. I forgot what I was saying now. Okay. But what I was going to say is, so AI really helped me write a lot of that TypeScript. Like, you know what? I'm going to be honest. AI wrote a lot of that TypeScript. And just because of like my general knowledge of programming and experience, I was able to kind of go through and like, logically deduce do simple, bug fixing and like tracing and stuff like that and figure out how to do something better. But it helped me like that. There's a lot of TypeScript in that project. Do I feel like I learned TypeScript? No. Not at all. Not at all. It's like using a translator to have a conversation with somebody. And that's how, and then are you going to learn that language? Now, if you use the translator enough for years, you'll probably start to pick it up. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what I equated the, using AI to program in terms of, do you really learn what the AI is telling you? Do you learn it? No, you don't. Maybe you do like at a very little tiny minuscule scale, but for any practical terms or any practical purposes, no, you don't learn it. Okay. Pro tip, you can reuse the same scene loader object for multiple buttons. Okay, now that makes sense. Play, quit, retry. Okay. All right. We did it. So let's add something to the main menu. So we want to add 2 buttons to the main menu. We simply just want to add quit or game or play and exit. That's all we want to add. Or can I just do this? Can I just go down? Main menu. Okay, so here's the main menu. So Razman, I put my Unity game on the AMB general chat. Okay. Did you? Like just recently? Like right now as we're talking? Let me go to AMB and look. Not sure. Hey, Raz or Ketchikan. The guy not sure in the chat room, he signed up for AMB. And then he said at the beginning of this chat, I think before you arrived, he said that he didn't understand what anybody on there was talking about. So Razman, you should join too. Let me see. Oh yeah, not sure. Oh wait, I misread that. Not sure put his game on there. Oh, here's my game. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, what is this? Angry Roomba. I consent. Okay. Wait. I don't want to do it in that browser. That's my naughty boy browser. I don't want to use that browser. I'm going to use my good boy browser, which is this one. I don't want to use my naughty boy browser. I'm going to use my good boy browser. Okay, let's check this out. I consent. Let's see. Let me stop my music. Let's play. I'm assuming there's music. I don't know if there is or isn't. Okay. Oh, okay. Wait. What do I do? Oh, I have to pick up the dirt? Okay. Okay. All right. So I just have to go through and pick up the dirt. Okay, I got it. I think I already screwed up, though, because... Ugh, come on. Get up. There's a piece of dirt under here. 14? Where are they all hiding? Oh, come on. Come on. 13, 12. Okay. Oh, my God. There's dirt up here, too. Okay. Oh, behind the couch? Oh, come on. Move, cat. Okay, I got 3. I got 3 remaining. Oh, come on. Come on. Wait. Oh, this moves? All right. Oh, come on. God damn it. Where are the 3? Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, why won't the cat move? Come on. All right, I think I found a bug. There's not there's no more 3. That's the bug. There's no, I'm pretty sure I've covered all spots. I don't see these 3. Oh wait, there's a planter. Yeah, you need to add music and a timer would be good. And also fix the bug where there's no dirt and it's still telling you have dirt. I don't see any dirt. No, that's pretty cool, man. No, that's actually really good. No, there's 3 more. I know it says there's 3 more, but where are there 3 more? I don't know if I believe it. I don't believe it. Oh, Jesus Christ. It was under the goddamn cat. Move! There we go. All right. There. 0 remaining. Is there no new level yet? All right. No, that's an excellent start, though. That's great, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it needs music. Needs a timer. And I guess it needs more levels, too. But no, cool. Dirty Roomba. Angry Roomba. Angry Roomba. Goddamn cat. That must be a fat cat. All right. Okay. You might notice you made the cat 500 kilograms. His realistic cats don't move. They don't. They're assholes. I love cats, but they're jerks. You might notice I'm drinking a can of Diet Mountain Dew. Tommy would finger the cat. Oh, Jesus. This is what I'm talking about, where not sure. Not now, a normal person like Not Sure and Razman are going to read that statement and be like, what? And but just remember that the Tommy Tucson game was published by a company called, oh wait, where is it? It was published by a company that goes by the name of Dogfinger Studios. And I love this. This is where the inside jokes just get to be too much, but and then also I love I love the little icon of Dogfinger Studios. I love it. Open the image. There we go. That's my ex-girlfriend's pug. That the same ex-girlfriend who you might recall, who I got drunk with her sister, and then she got really mad. But nothing happened between the sister and I. I will go to my grave saying that because that is the truth. Nothing happened between her sister and I. We just took many shots together and got wasted. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's move on. I'm getting a Kiwi Farms Chris Chan vibe from this board. You are spot on. You are spot on. Spot on. As a matter of fact, many of the people on my board are from Kiwi Farms. So you are spot on. Let's see. Let's find some good old fashioned Russian doomer music for put in the background while we finish programming. Russian. Let's see. Good old. You can't go wrong with the Russian doomer music. Dude, what do you mean? Oh, not another nothing happened story. It's the same story. It's the same story. And I'm just reminding you, Razman, that nothing happened. And in case that particular ex-girlfriend ever listens to this stream, nothing ever happened. You got mad over nothing. You got mad because I was doing shots with your sister. That's why you got mad. Nothing else. That's all we did. I swear that's all we did. Okay, I need 2 buttons. So Razman was talking about a UI toolkit. So where exists this UI toolkit? UI toolkit. I see UI document. So do I have to add a UI document? What am I doing? Okay. All right. UI document. Panel settings, source asset. Oh, excuse me. What is this? What am I looking at? Oh. Text settings. All right, let's ask AI. Let's ask our overlords. Let's ask. Okay. Thanks. That worked. Remind me to buy you a beer. Now, I am trying to add some buttons to the main menu scene, and my good pal and future best man at my next wedding, Razman, told me to use UI Toolkit. And since I trust him with my life, can you please tell me what that is and how I can make Razman proud? All right, let's see what we did. Let's see what we got there. Oh, well, Razman's already telling me. Okay, well, Molchat Doma. I really... So the thing about this is, about the music, is like, YouTube doesn't seem to care that even if it is... Because, well, first of all, a lot of copyright music these days, people are just like, yeah, you can use it, but I'm going to get a cut. And that's fine. It's especially fine because this stream is not monetized. Should this stream ever become monetized, then the days of the copyright music will be gone. Because I'm greedy. So... But, I mean, considering you need 1,000 subscribers to get monetized, and I think I have 171, it's going to be a little while before I get monetized. Wait a minute. Yeah, there's definitely a market for the short dude, although the ending is a bit anticlimactic, finding out the supermarket is closed, it will have to do. That's fine. Looking forward to... Okay, I just got a note from my editor, and what is this? Tía Caso. No como me dijiste que no debiera hacerlo, lo piense mejor y el cambio es un parte comprar comida. Okay. Te hice caso. Okay. All right. Okay. Tommy used to have a forum on Kiwi Farms. Wait, did it get Oh, that's right. Tommy did have his own forum on Kiwi Farms. Did they remove it? But he still has his thread. I'm pretty sure I was getting ready to load up Kiwi Farms on here to see, but no. I will not be loading up Kiwi Farms on the live stream. Yes, I mean, as I often say, it is a bad idea to just raw dog browse the internet on live stream. Just don't do it. Okay. All right. So let's see what the AI says. Okay, well, what Razman told me about. Okay. I could have sworn. Oh, on project, create a new UI document. I did that. Ketchkan says, I think they merged the whole forum into a thread, but don't go there, so I don't know. But I don't go there either. I tend to stay away. A lot of those people kind of scare me. And then it scares me that like A and B is like tangentially related to them. And so that's another reason of why A and B will probably never, ever become public, because it just, my hosting company, they don't seem to mind as long as everything's private. Like they've told me flat out before, it's like, yeah, just, you know, you can do within reason, you can do whatever you want as long as it's all private, you know? So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, oh, they're really cool. All right. AI, UI toolkit. Let's get to it. Okay. So I created the document. Okay. Razman knows what's up. Look at that. Even the AI knows Razman's awesome. Okay. UI Toolkit is Unity's new UI for creating modern, scalable, and responsive user interfaces. It is intended to replace Unity's older system, blah, blah, blah. How to create. Package Manager, Unity, UI. Okay, I'm going to assume that's already done. In the hierarchy, create UI Toolkit, UI document. Done. We did that. Ketchikan says, on a related note, do you have TTVG QR code Tommy sticker that I can order for my trip to Reykjavik next month? So not sure on Razman. If you haven't figured out, this guy Tommy Tucson, he is he's a character, and he's trolled pretty heavily, and he's kind of a troll in his own sense, but whatever. So a few years ago, there was a member on my board. He was a very regular member of my board, but then he stopped coming as soon as he was castrated. But he would buy stickers, these stickers for Tommy Tucson, and the stickers had a QR code on them. And I remember, like, and he mailed me. The guy would mail me stickers because I traveled a lot. I put stickers up in Argentina and Greenland and Iceland and the Faroe Islands and Copenhagen. Like, I put these Tommy Tudor stickers all over the world. And then the guy stopped coming to the board, and I'm not going to spend any money on that. So, yep. Okay. In the hierarchy, right-click UI Toolkit UI document. A UI document object will appear in the hierarchy. Yes, it did. Perfect. Grok is outdated. Oh. I'm using ChatGPT. A UI document object will appear in the hierarchy. In the inspector, create a new .uxml file. Main menu, click create. Wait, here? No. Wait, where? In the hierarchy, right-click UI tool. Okay, UI document. The UI document object will appear in the hierarchy. Yes. In the inspector, create a new .uxml file. This is the inspector. Where would I create that file? Source asset, maybe? I don't know where to create the file. Bing Copilot is my go-to coding AI tool, especially with the IDE plugins for VS. Yeah, I've been using. If I'm using AI inside of VS Code, I'm usually using Copilot. Though a buddy of mine, he swears by Claude. He swears by Claude, and I tried using Claude, and it seems okay, but. Okay. Where do I create? Okay, step 2. I need more details for step 2 because I don't see any obvious place to create a .uxml file. Project window, right-click, create UI. I mean, I have the UI tool. I have the UI document. Like, it's right there. I can see the UI document. It's right there. Right there. But where do I create the .uxml file? In the Unity top in the Unity top menu, go to Window UI Toolkit UI Builder. Oh, okay. All right. I can already tell this is more than I want. like this is more than I want right now. We'll come back to this. I'm going to remove this. We'll come back to it. Because I just want something quick and dirty. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to use a button text mesh because it will get the job done and it'll get the job done quickly. I don't want to mess with markup right now. As a matter of fact, Razman, if you want to contribute, right? You could go ahead and clone this, and then you could I am happy to accept the pull request. Happy, more than happy. Okay, I'm going to add 2 buttons. Oh wait, I didn't mean that. I want to do that here. Okay, perfect. So one of these is going to be, where did it go? Where do I edit the text? It was not immediately obvious. It was like, oh, here. Yes, button. Exit game. And play. Perfect. What is UXML is probably Unity's XML. I'm pretty sure that's what the UXML stands for. I bet. So Zenforo does a very similar, like a lot of, like even Microsoft does the same thing where they have like XML. It's basically standard XML, but it has like special like namescoped tags. So like Zenforo, for example, the name of an element in XML will be like XF : whatever. But that XF. It lets the Zenforo XML parser know that like, oh, this is something special. Whereas if it doesn't have it, it's like, okay, I can treat this as regular XML, that kind of thing. Be aware that by participating in this project, you're subject to hobo. No, stop! No, I'm banning Ketchikan. I'm banning him. He's getting banned. Stop scaring people, Josh. Jeez. Okay, so I think I can do... Well, wait a minute. Do I need to do the create... It was create empty scene loader. Is that how I did this? And then I did the scene loader script. And then I would click on play. And I would drag... Let me name this button. The microphone's in the way. Okay, play... button, and then the one below it is exit button. Okay, so play button. I can no. Scene loader. I drag over. Oh, I gotta add. Okay, perfect. And then scene loader. I can drag here. No, not exit. No. Okay, play button. Perfect. Add. Perfect. Scene loader, easy. Function, scene loader, load scene, and then game. Oh my God, I am a genius. Oh my God. Oh, how would I do exit? It's interesting. I want to try it. I think I can figure this out. Oh wait, I bet I can figure this out by myself. Without I can do it. I don't need no stinking AI. Quick game. Right there. That's all I need to do. That's all I needed. So I can take the scene load. Oh, what? No. Don't do that. Okay. Well, if we go back over here. Easy. Function. Scene loader. I don't like that it's called exit. I wish it was called exit game. I don't like that it's called quit game. Quit game. Perfect. Okay, so that should get me to the game, right? Let's see. Okay, here we are. Wait, why didn't... Oh, okay. So I need to have the scene, the splash screen. Okay, so let's see. Ketchikan says no, I'll be good. Not sure says lol. Hobo law is a joke. Hobo law is life, says not sure. Razman says it also has USS replacing CSS. Unity's just going all in. Have to step away for a bit. Has been enjoyable, Addy. I'll leave the stream open. Come back if you're still online. Keep it up. Thanks, man. Hope to see you next time. Razman, so if you know how to center a div, which is impossible, you should use the toolkit instead of the canvas, as it's a new feature Unity wants to push. So I'm not against like experimenting with the markup, but the thing is like I don't want to deviate for like a half hour playing around with the markup trying to get it to do what I need it to do. I kind of just want to draw the buttons really quick and just because I want to like before I sign off tonight, I want to complete like the flow. I just want to have a basic flow in, and then you can come back, and then you can come back and we can come back and we can redo it. Press to start. I don't understand why it's still drawing that, but that's okay. Okay, clicking play took me into the game. So now what we would want... So I feel like we might need another screen or two, right? Because we would want to pause, because I hit escape out of reflexive, because I would want to pause, so that a pause screen, so I can hit escape, and I can either pause or go back to the game. Well, escape would de facto be pause, and I could exit or return. And then I need a game over. Okay. No, but that's good though. It works. Hobo Ethical Code of 1889. Decide your own life. Don't let another person run or rule you. When in town, always respect the local law of officials and try to be a gentleman at all times. Razman says, it seems I am a Unity salesman. Yes, sir, you are. Not sure. Don't take advantage of someone who is in a vulnerable situation. Are you reading Hobo Law? Always try to find work, even a temporary. Where are you getting this from? This has to be AI. You probably had to ask AI, what is Hobo Law? As a matter of fact, I gotta ask myself. I'll ask Grok. What is Hobo Law? Come on, Grok. Come on, Grok. All right. Wow. If you intended Hobo Law, I mean, no, that's just silly. Did you mean? It doesn't tell me anything. Grok is getting dumber. Like I've started noticing that Grok is like it's not keeping up, and I really wanted to. Because it's not that I love Elon, but I kind of want him to just kind of like, give a big middle finger to everybody that kind of hates him because they're kind of told to hate him. So, but whatever. I don't want to get political, but I want Grok to do well. I want Grok to succeed, but it's just not right now. Okay. So not sure is saying Hobo Space Law. Okay. What is Hobo Law? So you might notice I'm drinking a can of Diet Mountain Dew. I allow myself. I don't even want to admit this. I allow myself 4 Diet Mountain Dews a day. That's a lot. 4 bottles. That's 20 ounces. That's 80 ounces of Diet Mountain Dew a day. And I'm like, well, oh my God, I'm turning 50 now. So now I'm in, where was that? Where were we? My wife and I, we go to the grocery store and I hear like over the loudspeaker, it's like, are you over 50? If so, you should consider the shingles virus. And I'm like, what the, not the shingles virus, the shingles vaccine. What the fuck? The last time I went to go pick up a prescription at CVS, they were like, oh, you qualify for the hepatitis B, which I didn't even know was a thing. You qualify for the hepatitis B vaccine and something else. I don't think it was the shingles vaccine. I think it was some other vaccine. Do you want to get it today? And I'm like, no. It's not 8 liters, but it's a lot. Wait, is it? Maybe. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Don't say Jesus. No, you're saying Jesus. Anyway, so yes, it's about 2 liters. It's about 2 liters. It's not 8. It's not a gallon. I know that. It's a little more than 2. 20 ounce. What? You're making me feel self-conscious. That's it. I'm banning you too, Not Sure. You're banned for life. No. But, so to your point, Not Sure, I'm like, I really need to cut back on that. But there's like a ritual I have. This whole ritual of like when I drink them and like how, like it's a habitual thing that I don't want to give up. So I kind of worked out a plan with the help of AI. Like you'll notice, like if you come over here, you'll notice I have like this personal coach AI, which I will keep private. And so it's like helping me, like trying to come up with a plan to cut back on my Diet Mountain Dew intake, right? Because I need to cut back on it. Now, I will also say in my own defense, I drink a shit ton of water to kind of like balance it out. Like when I go to bed, I want my urine to be clear and have as little odor as possible. So these, I drink, like this is a huge, I drink 3 of these a day, generally, sometimes a little less. So, it's the caffeine, Not Sure says. There's more caffeine in coffee. My mom says the same thing. Oh, that caffeine can't be good for you. And I'm like, Mom, you drink like 2 pots of coffee a day. Like that's like 5 times as much caffeine as I'm drinking. Like the amount of caffeine between a Diet Mountain Dew and coffee is like worlds apart. Like coffee has a ton more. But anyway, so my plan is also 4 20-ounce Diet Mountain Dews. That's like $8 to $10 a day on Diet Mountain Dew. That adds up. That's like $300 a month on Diet Mountain Dew. So my plan is I'm going to cut back by having 2 Diet Mountain. I'm going to have 2 of my bottled Diet Mountain Dews in the morning, and then for my evening Diet Mountain Dews, I will have 2 cans. And it's a start. It's a start. Okay. Baby steps. If you try to, I am not a cold turkey person. I will not, like when I quit smoking, I smoked for like 15 years from the time I was like 17 until I was in my early 30s. And I tried quitting cold turkey. I couldn't do it. And so for me, I know what works for me, and gradually weaning down and cutting habits. That's what works for me. With smoking, I quit by using the patch, and I used the stronger patch, and then I went to the medium patch, and then I went to the weak patch, and so what? Like that's what worked for me. So for this habit that I really want to break, I will be happy if I can get it down to 1 Diet Mountain Dew a day. And that's a habit that there are certain habits in my life where I'm like, if I can keep the habit at this level, then I am content as a person having that habit for the rest of my life. For example, if I could keep my smoking habit to 1 cigarette a day, I would be content with having 1 cigarette a day for the rest of my life. Like if anybody said, you need to quit that 1 cigarette a day, I would be like, screw you, it's 1 cigarette a day. But the problem is, for me, 1 cigarette a day will turn into 2 cigarettes a day, will turn into a pack a day. And so it's just easier for me. Okay, just none at all. Have you ever thought to replace the Mountain Dew for hard drugs like a regular person? So, I have often said that if I'm like 75, if I'm 70, if I hit 70 and the doctors come and tell me like, hey, your cancer is back, I will probably at that point, opt out of treatment and probably just develop a heroin addiction. I've never tried it. I've never tried heroin. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but I'm just saying I've never tried it. And if I'm 70 and I'm going to die of cancer, why not? Okay. So we have the screen working. So two things. We got about 20 minutes left until I'm going to wrap up for the night. And I don't know if we have time to do either one. Because what we would want, we would want like an end game. So what I mean by that, and what I was thinking when I was doing this, not main menu, when I was doing this on my couch earlier today, I was going, oh, excuse me. Let me come down here. Game. Okay. So what I was thinking for the game, at least for the beginning, is if I walk to the edge of the map, right? Although it is a big map. I shrinked the map too. I still haven't added oh my god, it's really why is it so slow now? But I was thinking if I walk to the edge of the map, or if I walk out of a certain bounding box, then let's just consider that like I died, right? Like consider that like an end of game. I think that would be pretty easy to do. So, okay, let's do that. I think we can do that. So let's create like a little bounding box and then detect if I have walked out, if I've hit the bounding box. And then once we do that, we'll simply have it just print a debug message if we hit the bounding box. Once we've done that, then we can figure out, okay, well, how are we going to like kind of pause everything and put up like a you died, game over kind of thing. So let's see what AI says. Okay, let's change gears. In the game scene, I want to be able to detect if the user, if the player, we're going to call it a player, if the player walks to the edge, walks within a certain amount of space from the edge of the terrain. How? Let's see what it says. So apparently this can be done in Unity's Terrain API. Excellent. Get the terrain size using blah. Get the player's current position. Check how far the player is from the edges of the terrain. I'm a little suspect, but I'm going to keep reading. Create a script. Terrain edge detector. Okay, we'll look at that in a second. And then attach it to the game player object. Add this code. Okay. All right, let's just do it. Terrain edge detector. Let's actually copy this first. I'm just going to vibe code it, man. Let's just vibe. Look, we're just going to have a vibe coding session. What do you guys think? Let's just vibe code it out. Let's just vibe. But do you have to talk like, yeah, man? I feel like if you're going to vibe code, you got to be like, yeah, like you got to be like some like 70s hippie kind of like, hey, man. Do you have a storyboard for the game? It's interesting you should say that. It's interesting you should say that. I do not. But I was literally this morning when I was laying in bed before I got out of bed, I was thinking about that. And I was thinking about the stream. And I was thinking, because first of all, I was thinking about streaming in the morning. And I was like, well, I could start story because I was thinking about storyboarding. I know how I want the game to begin. The game begins where you wake up and I'm thinking that like, I'm making this very complicated. I think about the actual work, but let me just. You wake up because your wife has woken you up or something, and you have to go to dinner. And she's like, dinner's ready, and then so the player has to walk over and there's your walking mechanic. You learn how to walk. You got to walk over to the table, and then you got to sit down. There's your sit down mechanic, and then then the wife says something like, "Oh, honey, will you lead us in prayer?" Yes, I want to have a prayer, but this is all a made-up religion, so there's no religious stuff. But I'm just thinking, okay? And I'm just. Razman says I hate it. I hate you too. Oh wait, maybe you were talking about the message above. Some of my classmates are vibe coding their part, and is a total mess when we want to merge all together. Absolutely. I thought you were saying you hate my idea, Razman. But so then you sit down. And then obviously there's gonna be like a button. It's like press P to begin prayer or whatever, and then you'll start and like I want to make it obvious that it's not like a religion based in the real world because I don't want to offend anybody. So there's a whole like Let me find it. There's a whole backstory here that I was changing a little bit, but there's like a whole thing, and this is all AI. I mean, like, but I've been perfecting it, let's say, or just I've been kind of like changing little bits of it, but AI kind of came up with the general idea. So anyway, so you start saying your prayer, la 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 la, and then in the middle of the prayer, that's when you hear an explosion, and that's kind of when the game begins. I'm thinking what's going to happen is you're going to be on, like, I'm going to throw numbers out, but these numbers are likely to change. But you're going to be on the 7th floor. And the NPCs are going to work their way floor to floor. The NPCs are going to be unaliving other NPCs and working their way up to you, and then you're going to have to work within that. Anyway, and if you're wondering about these names, like a lot of the names, so I'm self-indulging a little bit because my father is from Bolivia. I have Bolivian citizenship. I'm American citizen too, but I have Bolivian citizenship. I have a strong affection for Bolivia. I don't know if you're familiar with Bolivia. Razman, you probably are, but not sure if you're just like an American white guy, then you probably aren't. But that's a horrible thing to say. I'm sorry. First-person shooter, yes. First-person, well, actually, AI suggested, and I kind of like the idea. AI suggested like a hybrid. That maybe it could be first-person shooter, except for some of the combat might be third person. But anyway, the names. So, my dear Bolivia. Oh, I love Bolivia. So anyway, I have a very strong fondness for Bolivia. So the names, if you look at the names, you can go to this link. I'll post this if you guys are curious. A lot of it's just like AI stuff that I've saved and kind of modified a bit. But the names. So in Bolivia, there's obviously the Spaniards, but then some of the native people. You have Quechua and you have Aymara, and my family kind of has more of a Quechua background, and so a lot of these names are. But my family also has a French background. So a lot of these names, I told AI, come up with hybrid names of combining French and Quechua. And that's what we got. And I need to make sure that this is not, I have no idea what this music is. This could be Beatles, which I know will get me in trouble. Oh, no, this is still Russian Doomer music. Okay. Bolivia is landlocked. Yes, it is landlocked because Chile stole their land. This little area right here, Antofagasta. So Bolivia used to have basically from this border up here in the north all the way down to Antofagasta, and then they lost this little section. They had a little sliver that was like sticking out for a while, and then they had another war with Chile. They had like a war with Peru and they lost some land. They had a war with Chile and they lost some land. And ever since like 1880 something or 1890 something, they've been landlocked. But here's a fun fact about Bolivia, which is just it's a fun fact. So this body of water right here, this is Lake Titicaca, which, I mean, just the name alone is pretty hilarious. Lake Titicaca, come on, really? But this is the highest navigable lake in the world, because this area here is the Altiplano, which is very, very high up. It's like La Paz is the highest capital city in the world. But Bolivia, the fun fact is... you stole my fun fact, Razman! That was my fun fact! You stole my... I'm banning you, Razman. Everybody's just banned tonight. You're banned! You're banned! Stole my fun fact! God damn it! It's also my fault because I took too long to get to the point. Oh, Jesus Christ. You stole my fun fact. I'm pissed off. Angry. God. All right. Let me see if this terrain object detector thing is not too difficult, and then we'll be able to call it a night. Yeah. Also, they have one shark dead. They have one shark dead registered. I'm not sure what that means. They have one shark dead registered. Let me see. I want to create a script. I feel like an option went missing. Like there used to be, I guess it's a mono behavior script. I mean, yeah, that's just, I mean, I guess mono behavior. I guess that's one way to put it. All right. Because I think the old version of Unity just said script or something like that. It just said script. Okay, copy. And then attach it to the player game object. Okay. So let's look at it. I mean, I'm not going to vibe code it to the extent that I don't understand what it's doing. So, okay, if terrain equals null, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to have to set the terrain, edge distance threshold. If terrain equals null, return terrain size, blah, player position, blah. Calculate the distance from the edge. Now, this is the interesting part. Distance to left edge, distance to right edge. Okay, actually, it's not that interesting. I'm lying. Yeah, because it's fixed. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Oh, because it's the size. Ah, okay. Okay. Distance to bottom edge, distance to top edge. Okay, and then it's just doing that, and then there you go. Okay, so that's easy. That's very easy. And then we just have to attach that to the game player object. Not sure it says, can we work on the character? We should. I remember I imported that that survivalist character. I would like to make that the player character, at least at the beginning, and then have it animated so it walks. Someone died of a shark attack. Someone died of a shark attack in Bolivia? No. No. How do you say shark? Tiburon? Tiburon? Something like that. Tiburon? Wait a minute. Wait. Let me look in English first. No, I don't see anything here. 911 calls detailed response to shark bites. Bolivia. Wait. Oh, this is in North Carolina. Are you thinking you're not talking about Bolivia, North Carolina? Because so I think I mentioned a couple nights ago about how my family used to always go to North Carolina, which reminds me, I want to check on my brackets and see how I'm doing. But I remember when we would drive down to Sunset Beach, North Carolina, we would always pass this town because it was a joke because we all knew my dad was from Bolivia, but we used to pass this town called Bolivia, North Carolina. And of course the joke was like, oh, look, we're going to Bolivia. It's so funny. It's somewhere around here. Here's where it's. I'll just look. But yeah, are you talking about Bolivia, North Carolina? You might be talking about Bolivia, North Carolina. Yeah, so here it is. Bolivia. Fun fact, Bolivia has 30 official languages. I don't think that's the truth, but that is the truth in South Africa, which is very much like, no. Someone died of a shark attack in Bolivia. Razmia, I think you might be thinking of Bolivia, North Carolina, which is near the ocean. Mono behavior is the parent class for everything. Yes, we did figure that out. Let's just add some fences or something. We'll add the fences, but I want to add the behavior first. But also the other thing I want to do is where did my other script go? This one. Because even the fast movement is walking speed. I want to. Oh wait, that's public. I can change that in configuration, I think. Wait. Walking speed, jump. Where's the shift? Okay. Times 2. No, we're going to times it by 5 because he was walking too slow. All right, let's see. Let's okay. And then if we attach that other script, I'm going to have to clean this up. This is all a mess. But let me see. Where was it? It was terrain edge detector. Let's attach that to the player. Okay. Let's play this. And then we can add a fence. Like, you're absolutely right. We can put a fence or something or whatever. I was thinking, actually, for the game, yes, he's going to... Let's see how fast he walks. Let's see. Okay. This is normal speed. Very slow. Okay, you ready? Oh, that's not too fast. That's not bad. All right, let me put the Let me put the console up so we can see any log messages. Okay. Yes, Razman. Instead of hard coding it, I should use a public setting so that I can configure it. I completely agree. And we can change that in 1 second. Let me just see. Okay, is it going to detect? We should see a log message. I'm not seeing a log message. And we just fell off. I did not see a log message. That's interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Couple things will change really quick. Let's do Razban's. Let's just add the movement settings. Actually, sprint speed. I don't want. I want sprint speed factor is what I want. Okay. And then, okay, so that takes care of that. But then the other thing, why wasn't it? Okay, so let's make sure it's actually getting invoked. So terrain edge detector. Let's just put a breakpoint here. Oh, it's not going to work. I didn't assign the terrain. That's why. So terrain collider. No. I need it on player. Terrain edge detector. I need to drag the terrain here. Okay. Now we should be good. Ah! The mouse is all messed up. Okay. Oh my god. I'm probably going to the furthest part of the map, but that's all right. We'll get there quickly. Okay. All right. So what is the terrain? The terrain where I want to, before I even get there, I want to see what I did a terrain. Where was that? It was all about the terrain. God damn it. Where was it? Somewhere. Okay, never mind. All right, we're just going to see if it works. We're just going to vibe it out, man. Let's just vibe it out. Still don't see it. Still don't see it. Oh, there it is. Oh, man. You got to get really close. Okay, but it does work. It does work. I mean, we can always just increase it, right? So that's good to know. Terrain edge detector, edge distance threshold. Let's do 50. 50 sounds a little better than 5. Not a private serialized field. Why? I mean, what are we serializing it to? Or like what is the purpose? Okay, let's just go here. So wait, you're talking about the pause menu? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay, let me see. And then we should be getting there soon. There we go. Okay. So maybe it should be like 20 instead of 50. All right, yeah, 50 might be a little too much. We'll do 20. But we'll keep it like that. Now the trick is, how do we have it so that obviously right now it's just creating. It's just doing this. We could do something like really cheesy, right? We could just do like this, right? We could just do scene management, put that there. What is the command? Load scene. We'll keep that, and then we'll just load scene main menu. And yes, I know we should probably make this all configurable, but we'll just hard code it for now. Main menu. Let's do that. With serialized field, you will see it in the inspector, but will not be able to access by other scripts. Accessible by other scripts. Okay. I mean, yeah. Fair. Where's my water? Okay. Are we running? Are we running? Pitch for run. Pitch for run. Do you catch that? Does anybody know that reference? Are we gliding? Pitch for glide. You know that reference? One of the greatest crash scenes ever. One of the greatest. Like, I went through this whole thing, like, this was like months and months ago, where I was like watching crash scenes from various movies. And actually, that would be a good idea for a video if it hasn't been done already. And I would imagine it has been done. But a video that ranks crash scenes of movies. Like, ones that come to mind, Castaway. That's a good one. That's a really good crash scene. The movie I was talking about is called Flight with Denzel Washington. That's a really good plane crash scene. The plane crash scene from Lost, I thought that was really good. There's another movie, A Mountain Between Us, with Idris Elba and Kate Winslet. That's a good crash scene. And then the last one, the top 5 one that comes to mind is from the movie Alive, about the Chilean soccer players, or maybe they were rugby players. The Chilean rugby players that crashed in the Andes and they had to eat each other and stuff. But whatever. But yeah, Flight is what I was talking about. Flight. That's an excellent. I think Flight might be my number one. Although the crash scene from another movie, an honorable mention would be and it might actually be on the list, would be the crash scene from the movie Gray with Liam Neeson. That is an excellent crash scene. And that's actually a really good movie. That movie, I don't hear that movie mentioned enough when Liam Neeson's name comes up. The Gray, really good movie. Look it up. All right. Let me see. Okay, so when we get to the edge, yes, the door's moving. Yes, the door's moving right now. When we get to the edge, we should go back to the main menu, right? Like, that's what we should be doing. And oh dear. Oh God, it's going to happen. It happened. Okay. And then honestly, we could just create a new scene. Now, I don't know what this display one no cameras rendering is, but we can figure that out later. I'm not super concerned about it right now. We could actually just load up the other scene. Where do we go? Game over. We can add. I know Razman's going to complain if we don't do UI toolkit, but we will do the UI toolkit. But like I said, Razman, pull request. Button. What do we have? Drop down field. Text. We're going to do text. Razman said you needed to add a camera. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. And I'm just going to literally change the text here. Game over. And then you would probably want a button to say play again or exit or main menu or something like that. But let's just do this for now. I gotta add a camera. Let me start with the other scene. A recent scene. We'll go back to the splash screen. So I gotta add a camera. Create camera. And then I need to point the camera directly at the Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, yeah. Okay, no, that makes sense. And then, so that's main menu. So let's go to main menu and see if we add a camera and kind of, again, it's going to be rough. Right? It's going to be rough, but that's okay. It's all about iterations. Okay, so we go there. Whoa. Okay. Now I'm curious to see if I've added a camera now. Oh wait, no, this is main menu. Okay, wait, let's go back to the other one. I'm curious now if it will stop overlaying one scene on top of another. And then after this, I think I'm going to call it a night. Let me see. Let me go back to splash screen. Okay, here we go. I got Grok 3 beta. I got it to pretend to be Charlie Kelly from It's Always Sunny. And we're talking about bird law. Okay, cool. It did what I wanted. And then now play works. Excellent. This is starting to look like a game, boys. I don't know what the game does, but it's starting to look like a game with mysteriously opening doors. And if you walk too close to the edge of the map, well, lo and behold, you better be careful, because if you get way too close, then you'll go back to the main menu. So, and wait a minute. Oh. And then you'll have to play it. Well, that's an interesting little bug. I suspect you have to reset the mouse somehow or something. Something's going on where I can't click on play now. No, it's an interesting bug. Wait a minute. Now I'm curious. Do I have to, maybe I have to reactivate the mouse or something? I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me ask AI. It might be something really quick. It's probably like I have to reset the mouse or something like that. Okay. Things are working well, except when I transition from the game scene back to a menu scene, back to the main menu scene. I cannot click any buttons as though the mouse needs to be reinitialized or something. Place a debug log on that button to see if it has an event. That's an excellent idea. Let me see what AI says. Ah, yes, this is a common issue in Unity when the mouse cursor gets locked during gameplay. Why this happens. In a first-person game, Unity often locks the mouse cursor for camera controlling. Yes. Fix it. In your main menu controller, add this on enable or on start. Okay, so let's just put that in the relevant I don't have a main menu controller. I guess I'm going to need one. And I guess I'm going to need a splash screen controller too. No, I would probably only need a main menu controller. Let me see. So, okay, I can do this. Create empty main menu. No, I've already messed it up. I like this. Okay, unlock in your screen loader. Okay, let's try that way. Let's try it that way. How do I delete this? Where is the delete button? There it is. Okay. All right. In the loads, okay. In your screen loader, load scene, unlock the cursor when leaving the game. Let's try that. That was in load scene, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. This is the last thing we're going to try tonight, and then I am going out. Oh, I'm not going out. I'm leaving. I'm leaving the stream. I'm not leaving my house. I mean, my birthday tomorrow, it will be a great birthday if I don't have to leave the house at all. Like, except to go on a walk. Like, take my dog on a walk. I love to take my dog on a walk. Other than that, if I don't have to leave my house again, that's a great birthday right there. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm just going to keep running. Nope, didn't work. Oh, no, didn't work. That's okay. No, wait, visible true. So this would happen. Yeah, this would happen when load seed gets called and then you load. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. We'll have to figure that one out. We'll figure that out on Wednesday when I come back on Wednesday. when I'm streaming on Wednesday. I might play with this before then, to be honest. Let me check in some code. You're going to need a singleton pattern to do a data persistent manager. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do here. And I mean, you could do a singleton pattern. I mean, if you're talking about persisting data between scenes, yeah, I mean, singleton pattern works. I don't know that you strictly need a singleton pattern. It makes it easy. The thing you got to be careful with singleton patterns is you will often run into similar issues that you'll run into with globals. And it becomes really difficult when you want to start like unit testing. And I don't know if we'll ever do unit testing. So I'm not talking about this game specifically. I'm talking about in general. So if you have a big project and you're using a singleton pattern and now you're including it here and you're including it over here and over here, and then you want to test something, well, let's say you just want to test this piece over here. Well, now you have to include this. You have to include the singleton pattern itself, and maybe it doesn't make sense in that context. So you're creating what can be a cumbersome requirement by using a singleton pattern and including it, kind of like you would like a global variable. So singleton patterns, they get the job done. Yeah, they do. And sometimes they make sense. Like, I think they make sense. I personally think they make sense for like application settings, right? Like they make a lot of sense for that. Where you have like an any file and, they don't always make sense for that, but they often do. So you like have an any file and then different components of your program use different components inside of the any file. Like in that sense, a singleton pattern might make sense, but you got to be careful because there's a big downfall with singleton patterns, and like I said, it's because they're like global variables. Razman says, "Happy birthday!" Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's just restricting a class to one instance. Yes. So a singleton pattern is exactly that. What happens is, generally the way it's implemented is you have your class and then you basically have a static member variable within the class that points to itself. And then the first time the class is constructed, you basically assign that static member to the point. Well, in C++, it's all pointers. So in C++, and it's very similar in C# too, from what I remember. But you take the static member, you assign the static member the value of the new object, and then anytime after that in your code, if you try to get, you basically use the static member. It's been a while, but you use the static member as a conduit into the class's interface. So when you reference that static member, it's basically like, oh, am I null? Okay, I'm null. Let me create a new part and then sign it. Oh, I'm not null. Well, then I just return the value. Something like that. But yes, you have the idea, not sure. It's basically just restricting that class to one instance. Okay, let me load up source tree. I love talking about programming with you guys. I do. I like one thing, like I've often thought, like, and let me know, like, if you guys would like I've thought about, like, maybe I should do like a tutorial or something like that. Like, my expertise these days is in C++, but I have a lot of general knowledge, I think. Oh, not I think. I mean, I do. But like, if you guys would like me to like do some like a type of like C++ tutorial or something like that, like I'd be down for that. I don't know if you guys would be interested, but I like to teach. I really like teaching. So anyway, can this run in Linux? I don't see why it couldn't. So if you're talking about my game, I have, obviously right now I'm on Windows, and I've been pulling the code down on my Mac and running it on my Mac. So it runs on Linux. I mean, it runs on Mac and it runs on Windows. I don't see why it wouldn't run on Linux. I haven't tried. We can try at some point. Okay. I'll take the C++ tutorial. Yeah, maybe I'll do a stream, or like, I've often thought about like producing like an actual video where like let me show you something I started. Okay, what was this called? I think it was something CPP. I started. No. Yes. I started writing a book about and this was how I had it. I was going to introduce the command line because I think. So this is the chapters of the book I was talking about, or that I was thinking. This is how I was thinking about doing the book, but this is also applicable to like a tutorial series, like I could do on YouTube or something, or even like live with you guys. But it would start with the command line. It astounds me, like the number of people, like my buddy David, like he's always talking about he wanted to learn to program. It's like I want to learn how to do some program. And it's like, okay, start with learning the command line. And then he would come back. He's like, command line's stupid. Why do you use that? You can just use Explorer. Or why do you use? And I'm like, you have to learn the basics. The command. You're not using the command line for its utility, at least not in the beginning. But you're using the command line to learn how the actual computer fucking works. So anyway, so you start with the command line, then console programming and file systems. Like again, it's just like same thing. These people don't know file systems. Anyway, but so I could do something like based on this. Is this private? I'm hoping this is private. Is this private? Where does it say? Doesn't it say? Well, come on. Tell me if it's private or not. Oh, my God. Oh, my stars and garters. I can't tell if this is a private repo or not. The repository is currently public. Nah, I'll keep it. That's fine. But anyway, that was just an idea. All right, let me check this code in. So we got all this stuff. We got this easy. Yasmari Pit Pie says, happy birthday. Thank you. I was going to say happy birthday back to you. Thank you. My birthday is tomorrow. I am expecting lots of gifts and praise. Okay, terrain edge detector, and then we have, I'm guessing all of this except maybe this stuff in .vs. I mean, that's .visual Studio, so I'm actually going to add this to my ignore. And then I think everything else can just go right in, like the toolkit and all of that. I think I'm assuming all of that can just go right in. Yep. Working on scene transitions, and then let's commit and push. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. I will be back. I won't be here tomorrow because it's my birthday, but I will be back on Wednesday. Until then, be sure to check out my travel channel at Addy Goes Places and my Twitter and my Instagram. You guys know this already because you listen to me, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it very, very much. It's always fun doing these streams with people, and especially with you guys. It's a lot of fun. So I hope to see you back on Wednesday. Until then, have a great week, and I'll see you on Wednesday. All right, and thanks for the happy birthdays and well wishes. Talk to you then. Bye, guys.